there, good morning. Thank you so much for still being with us here on Colorado and Company. You might not know that heart disease is the #1 killer of women. It's more deadly than all forms of cancer combined. This Friday is National Wear Red Day. The American Heart Association is asking everyone to go red to bring awareness to heart disease. Lori Pace and Dr. Renera Pitts join us now with more on how you can become involved. Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Lori, if you wouldn't mind sharing your story. I understand you've been personally affected by heart disease.
Definitely. Both my side of the family and my husband's side of the family have lost all the women in our family from some form of heart disease. Unfortunately for each of us, we have 2 daughters, and so there's a double whammy there. So this has become my personal passion to ensure that they understand how to prevent heart disease.
And that's the reason why you stepped up and became involved with the American Heart Association?
Absolutely.
Understood. And what are you doing to try and prevent heart disease in your family, being a mom of 2 young girls?
You know, the #1 thing is just talking about it amongst the girls so that it's part of our everyday conversation. Just like you say, brush your teeth. We think about our heart every day and we make right choices about their food. So we've come up with a way to keep each other accountable, whether it's my husband or the girls, to make sure that when we're making decisions about food, that we're making the right choice and something that's going to keep us alive a lot longer.
Very great advice, honestly, for your children. And for anyone watching right now, if you'd like to get involved, you can actually go to their website, which is heart.org/Denver Wear Red. Is there another way that people can get involved in the month of February?
Absolutely. We have activities every Friday. We have one coming up on Friday at the Legislative where we're going to be talking about heart disease and everybody wearing red, and we encourage everybody to wear red on Friday at your company. You can also go to our Facebook page as well and learn about all the events that we're having, and most importantly, just to talk to everybody about what they're doing this month. Ask them to go to our Facebook page and see if you can invite them to join you for an activity.
Okay, and if you want to use a hashtag Denver Go Red, hashtag Denver Go Red. Doctor, do the signs for women present differently than men for heart disease?
It can be. For men, sometimes it's pretty typical. They get left-sided chest pain and maybe pain with their arm or their jaw, and that's pretty typical for men. But for women, elderly, and also people with diabetes, it might present differently. So they may feel short of breath, or they just may feel more fatigued than usual. And so sometimes it's just really important to stay in tune with these symptoms, or if you feel different than usual, and to seek, medical advice if that's the case.
With heart disease being the #1 killer of women, why are more and more women having to fight heart disease? Is there a certain stressor that's creating it?
I think as we see more people having diabetes, obesity, hypertension, these are risk factors that we know are strongly linked to developing heart disease. So as we see those risk factors go up, we also see heart disease go up.
What do you tell patients about prevention?
Well, the American Heart Association actually has described 7 components in our lives that we should really address. We call it Life Simple 7. And so some of these components are some things that we think about every day, like nutrition, but other things are very difficult to implement, like physical activity. So making sure that we have 150 minutes of moderate level activity every week that's spread out throughout the week, making sure that we abstain from tobacco, making sure that our blood pressure, sugar levels, cholesterol levels are at optimal levels. So these are components that we should really think about and also speak to our doctors about.
Absolutely. And this Friday is Go Red for Women.
Absolutely.
You are already sporting your red,
Yes.
looking good. So how can businesses and people get involved? Just wear red?
Well, on Friday, we're red, but go to the website, figure out how you can enroll your business to participate in some of the awareness programs that we have. Spread the word by going online. American Heart Association, particularly in Denver, has a lot of activities. Like I mentioned, there's a couple happening here in Cherry Creek. We have the Heart Balls coming up. Every day this month, there's something going on related to heart disease. So continue to wear red and make that statement so that you can encourage other people to do the same thing as well.
And to find out more about the events that are happening in the community events this February, do we just go to the Facebook page?
Go to the Facebook page, and it's /AHA Denver.
There it is. You're checking it out right now on the screen. And remember, if you want to use a hashtag Denver Go Red, just to bring local awareness too. Dr. Pitts, what does it mean to know your numbers?
Well, as I'd mentioned before, it's really important to know your risk factors. And so knowing what your blood pressure is, knowing what your glucose, fasting glucose is, that determines if you're at risk for diabetes, knowing what your cholesterol levels are so that you can address them and make sure that you optimize your risk factors.
And why do you tell people to get involved, Lori?
So that we can stay alive.
Yeah.
I mean, literally, we've lost so many women in our family, and there's not a person who is not affected by it. I remember a couple years ago, we were doing a campaign, and it was an ad on Colfax, and somebody had said, "Girl, I saw you on Colfax." And ironically, when we talked about why I was on this campaign, everybody that I spoke to had told me a story of how they were affected by heart disease. So it is really, it's a sisterhood. In order for us to stay alive, we literally have to help each other by leading each other to move forward and to take care of ourselves and pay attention to some of those factors that we as women take for granted because we are stressful as a realtor, I know.
Plus being a mom of 2 girls
Absolutely.
too. So thank you for bringing awareness, and thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you.
Again, this Friday and through the entire month of February, join the American Heart Association for the Go Red movement. It's making a difference in the health of women in your community. Wear your favorite red outfit this Friday and encourage others to do the same. Take photos and share it on social media using that hashtag #DenverGoRed. To register for National Wear Red Day, visit heart.org/DenverWearRed.